We welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And by our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and check them out at www.crowdplayapp.com for details. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
It's all about the cash flow. So come on and get this money, man. Getting paper and we always do it major on the stroll, you know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of Game Winning Drive. Gentlemen, it is episode number 50 for Game Winning Drive, as myself and Alex Krogan started it last year in 2020. Back in May. It's awesome that we got here to 50 episodes. A lot has changed. We are on a beautiful and brand new network on a Sports Box. We'd like to thank the Sports Box and all of our sponsors for giving us a platform for us to be able to give you an hour and 15 minutes, we hope, of great fun and entertainment. A lot on tonight on the line. We got our hot takes. We're going to talk about Jamal Adams' hefty contract. I know Brant already has some feelings on it. We also going to talk about what we take away from week one of preseason. What was some highs? What was some lows? We're also going to get into our famous section of buy and sell on second down. And on third down, we are going to reveal that top 32 running back list, which, by the way, was the most tightest list we have ever had done in the history of doing these lists. This is our second year doing it. And my God, a lot of people had a lot of opinions. I can't wait to dive into that. We're also going to be joined by my boy, Steven. He's a couple minutes behind. He'll be joining us very soon. But let me talk to my two partners in crime, Ryan Viegel on the top right and Brant Meeks, finally back after his vacation stay at a happy place in Disneyland. Brant, how was your stay in Disney World, bro?
Dude, Disney World was amazing. It was great. Florida is hot right now. It is sweltering heat, but the kids loved it. It was a good time, and I definitely missed you guys.
Did you drink any beer from somebody's ass?
No.
At the happiest place on earth.
At the happiest place on earth. Oh man, Ryan, how was your weekend, man?
It was good, man. Played softball this weekend. Got my second ring of my career, so we ended well, and all is good. Ready to get into the week.
Good, man. Good. All right, boys, let's get into it and check the bottom of the tickers, ladies and gentlemen. Give us your comments and concerns throughout the show. We love to answer them. We love interaction, so we hope that we can get it. First down, hot takes. I already talked about it. Let's start off with the man who was gone last week. The Seattle Seahawks have made safety Jamal Adams the highest paid safety in the league. Was this the right move for the team, Brant?
I say yes. And so I was probably going to shock you a little bit. The base salaries and how it plays out isn't terrible for the team. You're looking at he's got a $1 million fully guaranteed base salary for 2021 and then a $2 million guaranteed base salary for 2022. I think with his total combined this year, it'll be like $5 million cap hit with incentives and stuff. And then next year, you're looking right around $12 million. He's still getting paid less than Bobby Wagner. And I think when you're looking at what he does for the team, I mean, the fact that he's the highest paid safety, I think he's more like a glorified outside linebacker, box safety. It's not a terrible deal for the team. Like I said, he's not going to get you a lot of interceptions. He's not going to be the traditional deep field safety. But for what he does well. And he adds some value to that defense.
For me personally, before I let my boy Ryan go, there is no right move. This had to be the move. You traded your future for this guy. You better get the deal done. He had all the leverage. I wrote on my tweet the other day. I should have popped it up. I got a lot of hits and retweets on it. You had to make the deal, Ryan. You had to make the deal because they invested in him. They put pretty much their life of the defense in Jamal Adams. They tied up their cap with him now. And, with after the deal with Russell Wilson, I think, this guy can be the limit, but still, I still feel like Seattle went a little too far with that trade. I think the Jets really, gypped them with Jamal Adams. I mean, this is a guy that missed, I think, 7 or 8 games, 6 games last season. I mean, he's a great safety. Probably one. I don't think he's better than Matthew Brandt, but I really honestly believe that he has a hard time keeping his body healthy, and he's a reckless safety. It's just the name of his game. Ryan, what do you add to this?
Yeah, man, I'm on board with both of you guys. Between Schneider and oh my God, I'm drawing a blank of the head coach there. Pete Carroll. They had to get a deal done. You're absolutely right. They sold the farm, the future, to really have this guy on board. Now, he's not a safety. He's a glorified outside linebacker, like you just said. He just broke the record for sacks at that position. So at that position, he does it very well. In Ken Norton's offense, that's their style. They're definitely heading for the quarterback and trying to make some plays in there. You see all the memes about Vince Wilfork having more interceptions career than Jamal Adams. And you know what? Those numbers, they don't lie. That is true. Pay-wise, it's misleading for a safety to get this amount because I think he's getting paid like a Bobby Wagner in that kind of sense. I don't know that Matthew's ever going to get a payday like that. As well as
no,
we're jumping into an era now to where the cap is just going to continue to jump. And in 3 years, it almost looks like it's doubling. Like, it's insane where this cap's going to be real soon. So this could actually end up being a really good deal for them. And what Brant said on the base is actually pretty solid. We'll see what happens in the next couple of years when it comes to, I mean, he missed 4 games last year. He played 12. For his style of play, he is a liability of injury. There's no doubt about that. But I'm excited to watch him play more. I like his style. He's a headhunter, and that's fun to watch.
And ladies and gentlemen, the guy with no introduction needed, my boy Steven is finally on. What's up, Steven? How you doing, bro?
What's happening? I appreciate this, man. Thank you so much, Drew.
Yes, sir. Steven, this is my boy Ryan and my boy Brant. They're two of the 4 co-hosts. Other guy is still nursing a vagina issue that he cannot get on tonight. So my name, no names there, but
not a lie.
Yeah. Alex,
is he a Cowboys fan by any chance?
No, he's a Browns fan. Actually, he's a Browns fan. But
wow,
we miss him. Steven, we're talking about the Seahawks. Did they make the right decision on giving Jamal Adams the hefty contract that they did this past couple of days? Was it the right move?
Realistically for them, given the timeline for Russell Wilson entering the tail end of his prime, I would say, yeah, it is. They're in a win now mode. They're going to have to give DK a big contract within the next 2 years. So there's a lot of financial aspects to this that they needed to make this pay now for him. And make this move now because, again, this is win now for Seattle. So I disagree with the money. I don't think he's you could argue him as one of the 5 best safeties in the NFL right now currently. I would put guys like Jesse Bates from Cincinnati and Justin Simmons from Denver ahead of him. Definitely after what I saw with Minkah Fitzpatrick, I'd put him ahead of him, and obviously Tyrann Mathieu. But they needed this. This was something the Seahawks needed if they're going to win another one or have another shot at winning with Russell Wilson as their quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. Any issues? Any comments? Any concerns? Nope. Everybody agree. That's amazing. That's a first in the show.
Too bad Alex wasn't here. He'd break that
I know he would.
Hell right here.
Biggest takeaways that we have from week 1 of the preseason last week. Obviously, 2 weeks ago was a Hall of Fame game. We talked a little bit on it last week. Me and Ryan did. But last week, what was your biggest takeaway, Ryan, from week 1 of preseason?
I mean,
or your biggest low, or your low, whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, I mean, everybody's going to be looking at the quarterbacks here. What did Fields do? What did Lawrence do? What did Lance do? I'm going to jump on Lance. Lance looked good, man. He looked poised. He made some good throws. His statistics didn't look too great. I think he was, 5 for 14. There were 4 drops out there that easily should have been catches for a pretty good amount of yards. But on his back foot, that 68, 70-yard touchdown that he threw down the field, That looks sweet, man. That looked clean. You don't see that from a rookie coming out, especially from where he came from, non-D1, top Big Five kind of school. So I'm excited for it. I'm going to see what Trey Lance has for the future. Go on. I have to touch on my Chargers because that's my team.
No, you don't take my take.
I want to talk about Palmer for 1 second, man. Palmer is easily working his way into that number 3 receiver position.
I hate you.
If Mike Williams isn't healthy, Palmer's going to get a lot of love out there in fantasy. I'll tell you right now.
Awesome. I love it. Steven.
Really, I can't get too much into the preseason. This is more or less they're evaluating who they're going to bring on their rosters. They're evaluating the rookies. As Ryan just mentioned, looking at how these guys are able to process the playbook. And again, it's a vanilla playbook that they're getting. But they're trying to see what they've got right now and who's going to make those rosters. I think the two biggest takeaways for me, being an Eagles fan, I'm going to go there with Philly. I never understood why they brought on Kerryon Johnson, and now he's gone. I loved him coming out of Auburn. I was like, he was one of my top 5 running backs coming out in that draft, behind guys like Chubb and Saquon. And it just didn't work out for him in Detroit. Injuries were killing him. And when Philly drafted Kenneth Gainwell, I did not understand why they went out and brought in Kerryon Johnson, because there was no way he was going to beat Gainwell out. The other takeaway was bye-bye, Tim Tebow.
That's he's done. That story's done.
What was funny with that was I was arguing with so many people saying that he's going to be on that roster, that Daddy Meyer was going to make sure he makes that roster. And had I not seen what occurred on that video with him and his, like, that was a Pop Warner little kid, like, I don't want to they didn't kill me. I'm okay. Like, that was just the worst block I had ever seen. I'm like, oh no, my take was wrong. He's not making the team. He gave Meyer no choice but to cut his ass.
I agree. I definitely agree with you on that. Brant Meeks.
When I'm looking at my biggest takeaways, one, obviously, Washington's going to have a banging defense this year. The first series that the defense played, Chase Young is a monster. And had Deron Payne actually been able to pick up that ball and run, I definitely think we score early. Of course, preseason is what it is, but that defense is going to be.
What a hot take, Brant.
Yeah,
what a hot take. He's good. He's good, Brant. We get it, bro.
It's a great take.
Hey.
Good take.
What do you want me to talk about? Easton Stick going 7 for 7 and some pop-up action?
Hey,
that makes you feel good about it, right?
That's good.
How about Chase Daniel? That dude's made more money over the last 11 years than almost any backup not named Matt Schaub, right?
That's true.
No, the preseason's fun. You get quarterbacks like Justin Fields going out there, and you want to see them do well. You want to see how they're gonna work. Mac Jones had a pretty good afternoon as well. But the younger quarterbacks, Tua looks like he's making some strides, hitting a 50-yard pass to Mike Gesicki. So watching some of these young quarterbacks start to come along and sort of figure their stuff out. I like Justin Fields. He was my second-rated quarterback coming out of this year's draft, and he looked good that first week. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to take that job or if they're going to stick with the Red Rocket.
For me personally, man, I'm just going to go into it real quick. I love seeing the rookie receivers getting some production and looking really good. Jamar Chase with a couple of catches. Like you said, our boy Palmer at Chargers look really good. I think he is going to get the number 3 slot by opening day. I do want to see more. I know Devontae Smith is hurt. I want to see him in game action. I know you do, Steve. I want to see it happen. I know he's hurt. I know he's back on the practice. I think he came back on the practice field yesterday. I do want to see more of what can this tandem be for Philly with him and Rigger. I do want to see that on live game before the actual season to see if that chemistry is going to work with this offense and with Hurts. So that's an interesting point for me. Julio and AJ Brown, that tandem is working wonders from what I'm reading. From practice and all that. AJ Brown's game has gotten better according to him and coaches. So I'm definitely, interested in that. And the biggest takeaway for me is Easton Stick. It is. I'm a Charger fan. You know, I'm going to be a little bit of a homer. I think he needs to be our number 2, Ryan. I really do think he needs to be a number 2. I wasn't impressed with Chase at all whatsoever. So for me personally, just speaking of quarterbacks, Justin Fields looked absolutely amazing this past weekend. Trey Lance had an easy throw, but I did like Justin Fields a lot. So I am with you, Brant. I think it was you and I that had him at number 2 when we did the sports box draft for quarterbacks. So I definitely think that he's in a great position in Chicago, I think. So that's just me. Let's get on to boys. Take it down. Buy or sell. You're buying or selling on this. We just talked about him. Trey Lance will start week 1 for the San Francisco 49ers. Steven, are you buying or selling?
I'm selling. You got to sell it. Jimmy, look, they got Trey Lance because they know they need a future quarterback. Jimmy's on the wrong end of 30. They need him, but Jimmy is also the best quarterback that they have right now. He knows the playbook. All he's got to do is stay upright. As long as he stays out of the infirmary, San Francisco has a shot at winning that division. So, yeah, I'm selling that completely.
Shout out to my boy and our boy over there at Sports Box. Bear down. Ryan.
Oh, this one's tough for me, man, because I have my own opinion on what I think is going to happen. I'm selling that he will not be the starter week 1, but I'm buying that he should be the starter week 1. I think with their schedule given, they're looking at the Lions, the Eagles, the Packers, and then the Seahawks. My biggest worry is that Garoppolo is going to go the first 3 games, and they're not looking too good. And then Trey Lance is going to get the rock, and it's going to be against the Seahawks, and he's going to be running away from this, a defense coming after him. So I don't know. I think he should be starting week 1. I'm all in favor of guys getting in there early. We saw it work really well with a guy named Justin Herbert last year, and I think Trey Lance has that same kind of efficiency to where he could be successful in that position.
Herbert had no choice. What do you mean?
but he had success, more or less. That's what
he had success. Yeah,
so it can happen. Is what I'm saying.
Oh my goodness.
For me, I'm buying. I just you just took my ammo there, Ryan. 3 easy games. No offense, Steve. 3 easy games for Trey Lance to work on that defense, to build that confidence, to build that poise, to learn the playbook. Because Steven brought up a good point, man. The playbook's very vanilla right now for him. So you need to get more involved because it's Kyle Shanahan. That offense is not easy, dude. You have to learn that offense inside and out to become a productive player. I'm not a Jimmy G guy. You want to talk about overrated contract? Probably, I think that overrated contract goes to number 1 or 2 all time for him for not being a proven winner and in the big games. But for me, man, it's a buy. Brent,
I'm selling. Unless Jimmy G gets hurt. If Jimmy G's hurt, which he could walk out of his house, trip, and sprain an ankle tomorrow, and tear a rib falling down.
That's literally Jimmy G.
Yes. I don't think Lance is ready, and I don't think they drafted him to play right away. I think Shanahan still has a bad taste in his mouth from being force-fed RG3 when he was in Washington, when that's not who they wanted to start that year. So I think he's definitely going to take his time, make sure Lance has a good understanding of what's going on, and then he's going to get in probably week 6 or 7.
And to touch on that kind of piggyback, we can't forget that when Garoppolo was traded over there, Garoppolo sat for about 4 weeks before he actually got the rock and started playing. So Shanahan does run a very difficult offense to jump in and go right from day one. There's zero vanilla about his offense. So we'll take some time. So I agree with what you guys are saying.
Who did he sit behind? Who was the quarterback at that time?
They had
was it Beathard?
Beathard,
no,
Mullins.
It was no. This was before that. This was go ahead, keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
I really want to know. That's interesting to me. Oh crap! I passed one. Sorry, guys. Buy or sell. This is supposed to be for Alex, but he's not here tonight. Baker Mayfield will get a contract extension by opening day.
Skip it. There's no Brown fan here. Let's skip the question.
You want to skip it?
No, man.
Baker Mayfield sucks. He doesn't deserve a contract. Next question, please.
Wow. I don't think he sucks, but I'd sell
you're selling?
I'm selling.
Is that your explanation of the
no?
sell?
Yeah, I'm selling. I don't think he's. For me, I need to see another year in this offense to see if he's actually got the goods, because he's had a couple years of being really bad. He was a little bit better last year.
He had
Getting
1 year of
Odell
being
back,
bad. He had 1 year of being bad.
He's
Let's
been
be
in the
real
league for
here.
like 4
His rookie
years?
year was good.
I mean,
Last year was
all
his
right.
third year.
I don't know. Like I said, I want to see what he does with Odell. I don't think he gets an extension quite yet. For me, I'm selling.
For me, I'm buying. I think he fits his offense really well. Am I gonna say he needs to break the bank? Hell no, he ain't breaking the bank. Is he gonna be a top 5 paid quarterback? I don't know. I don't think so. Would I give him a deal like Ryan Tannehill? Yes, I would. I would give him a deal like Ryan Tannehill. But is he Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes? Obviously not. And Dak Prescott? I don't. That's hard. It's no. There's levels to this. It's like, do you go with Dak? Do you go with that level with Dak, or do you go with the level of Josh Allen? Where does he fit? It's so inconsistent from what he brings. He's good in rookie year, horrendous sophomore year, but look what was around him. Freddie Kitchens was his head coach. I mean, that's gonna kill you. It's gonna hurt you. And then you bring in a guy like Stefanski, who pretty much built back this offense to run through Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, got the O-line better. I still think they wasted money on Austin Hooper. They didn't need Austin Hooper, but nonetheless, it still improved this offense tremendously without an OBJ. Now OBJ is going to be back. I think this offense the sky's the limit for Cleveland, but can Baker, make the throws? That's his problem. That's his inconsistency. It's because he's short and he's not Russell and he's not Drew Brees, obviously. So where do you pay him, Ryan? How do you pay this guy?
That's to go back what I was saying. Brian Hoyer was the starting quarterback for the 49ers that year.
Oh my God.
And that's why they traded for him.
Yeah.
This is a tough one for me. Because the reality for me is that who's going to be out there? That's our boy Alex.
Yeah.
Rest in peace that ankle. Hey, what? So okay, say the Browns don't re-sign him, right? Okay, now we're in a Colts situation. Are they just going to keep playing the merry-go-round of quarterbacks and hope our line's good enough, we have good enough weapons, but we're going to bring in a new guy every single year? There might not be a big availability for him. If he could sit and play an Alex Smith role of just not giving up the ball, being a possession guy, not making mistakes, and making big plays from time to time, that would be big. So I would pay him that kind of contract, whatever that looks like a Kirk Cousins kind of contract or something like that. But with that being said,
fully guaranteed?
No, that's the big issue. Is the guarantee is always going to be the big fight. Can't fully guarantee with a guy like that. There's no doubt about it. With a quarterback in general, you can't fully guarantee.
They did with Kirk.
And
he had no playoff wins.
I'm just saying, whatever. Who else?
No,
there wasn't a lot
I agree with you.
So
I agree with you.
Yeah,
Donald
it's
Hill,
a tough one.
Before Steven goes, I love this. They better pay him now because if not, it's only going to go up. You all see the Dak situation.
Exactly.
The Cowboys did that for themselves. Let's just call it as it is. It's the quarterback market. I agree, Donald. Steven, enlighten us.
I'm selling because it's the Cleveland Browns. They've done so much right so far that there's the floor is about to drop somewhere. They've got to screw something up somehow. This is Cleveland. This is what they do.
I want Alex to come on so bad. I want him to come on so bad.
So Donald just stole my thunder because that's exactly the direction I was going to go. It behooves Cleveland to get this contract done and get it done now. Remember, Baker's agent said, at the start of the season, negotiations are off. That's it. We're done. And they're going to let the play talk. And we saw last year with the team that he's got around him right now. Look, I put a bet on the Browns to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not far-fetched.
No,
for this team. They've got they will have a top 5 offense this year. They will have a top 10 defense this year. And that is a recipe that always bodes well for teams going into going into the season. And they have that. So it behooves them to do it. But again, this is the Cleveland Browns. They've been doing so much good. They've got to screw this up somehow. This is where they'll screw it up.
Were you a fan of this Stefanski hire, Steven?
I didn't mind it because once I read up on what he did in Minnesota, he was the guy that was the mastermind behind everything. So I didn't. It wasn't like the Zach Taylor hire with the Bengals where they hired Zach Taylor. I'm going, why the hell did you hire the half a quarterback coach? Because McVay was doing the relaying and the work,
right?
With what's his name? Jesus Christ, how do I forget his name already?
Are you talking about the quarterback?
The Rams, the quarterback. Who the hell?
Jeremy
Goff.
Goff. Yeah, that's it.
God damn. You got me listening too.
That's how we know he sucks. But we know McVay was doing all the work with him. And so it's not like the Zach Taylor hire. Stefanski was extremely involved in the Minnesota offense. And once I read up on him, I'm like, wow, this might actually be a hire that works for a team. And surprise, there it is. It's working.
Now since Deshaun will not play this year, now can you see Vikings making a move for him next year at a better price? We don't even know if he's not playing this year. We don't even know.
No.
The latest that we heard is the FBI is involved now.
Untouchable at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. You can't. I mean, no one's going to touch him.
Not for what they want.
Alex, Alex. Oh my God, sorry. Brent, you want to say something or no?
Yeah. Who do y'all think gets a contract first, Lamar Jackson or Baker Mayfield?
Oh,
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar, because he's got MVP.
Because Baker, if Lamar gets a big one, a big bag like Josh Allen got, Baker's going to try to slide right up under that too.
Yep.
Hey,
hold on.
Don't let this man in. Look at him. He's all dressed up too. Don't let this man in.
I can't make it tonight, guys.
Motherfuckers.
Hey, what? So, are you buying or selling on this, Mr. Alex Copenhagen?
Listen, I'm going to sell.
Listen.
I'm going to sell because I don't want him. I don't want them to sign him to a long-term deal for that type of money. All right. As a diehard Browns fan, Brandt's talking out his ass. The guy who doesn't have a quarterback in the history of his fucking franchise talking about quarterbacks.
Hey, I had Gus Farrat in Mark.
The guy needs to shut the fuck up, all right? He's got Fitz Tragic as his quarterback now, and the guy's sitting here talking about he's an expert.
You get one year of prosperity, and he's
better than any quarterback you've ever had in the history of your franchise.
Doug Williams.
Stop.
Doug Williams. Joe Theismann was better. Sammy Ball is better.
Hey,
hold on.
Ryan.
Anyways.
He's got the handlebars.
Hey, are we just not going to talk about your beard right now? We're just going to act like that's not a thing. Come on, my guy.
What did you turn your fucking pet ferret into like a
Alex
facial
right
product?
Here,
what is happening here?
Baby leave Alex right here, man. No shaving. This is like 5 days growth. It's nice.
I'm proud of you. It's precious.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Drive around in a windowless van with that shit. Jesus.
This guy. The guy over here. Anyways, yeah, I'm selling only because I think the price tag he wants is going to be more than they're going to offer him. Right? I think they'll give him a top 15 contract. He wants top 5 money, and I just don't. He's not worth top 5 money. Right?
So I got a question for you then, because if you're going to sell this, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. Here's the problem: if the Browns show out this year, then what do? This is a Dak Prescott Dallas Cowboys situation. 100%. All over again.
If they gamble, and I think they're going to go really far. I honestly think if they don't make the Super Bowl, they're in the AFC Championship, right? I think.
Listen, I'm hoping they win the Super Bowl. I got Steelers fans ready and on deck just to text like, guess what?
But to me, AFC Championship is basement. With the amount of talent we have, with the ads in the offseason, with Del Pitt coming back, with Greedy Williams coming back, that secondary is going to look totally different than the holes that we had all year last year, right? So I'm excited, right? I like Clowney because we didn't overpay him. We only gave him a 1-year deal. So
that was a great deal.
So if he's a turd, then we just find somebody next year, right? I think it's going to motivate. I think Miles is coming in so motivated this year to prove that he's the best defensive end in the NFL that he's going to have monster numbers this year. And Clowney being on the other side is going to help him, right? So AFC Championship is my basement for the Browns this year. That's great for me to finally have faith as a Browns fan to think that. I just don't think Baker is the straw that stirs the tea, right? I don't.
What's
right?
the
How do you not
alternative
make How do you not make OBJ work? How?
We'll find out this year if he does.
The guy had one of the worst quarterbacks statistically in the history of the NFL, in Eli Manning, and somehow put up record numbers, right? You're telling me Baker's not better than Eli? Like, he's more talented. I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want about Eli. I know he's got 2 rings, but unless he's playing against Tom Brady, the dude is garbage.
Listen.
Hold
on.
Know?
Let me reel it back a little bit, okay? Because Brandt's shaking his head because he's saying Eli's not better. I understand why Brandt's shaking his head because Eli has 2 rings. He showed up in clutch moments. I understand that. I know where you're going, Brandt. But my question to you is, if we're in this topic now, Donald Hill's asking you these questions. If you're going to get to the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl and Baker's putting up numbers, there's no alternative to that. You have to pay him. Or you franchise tag him.
I'm not arguing with you. He's going to get paid. I just
don't know if
I don't know if I make the deal. No, because Aaron Rodgers is on the market next year. Let's think about this, right?
I knew you were going there.
If the Browns weren't fucking idiots, they'd have called the Packers and said, I'll package OBJ and Baker and 2 first rounds. Give us Aaron Rodgers. And are the Browns not the number 1 contender for the Super Bowl this year? 100%.
But why
put Aaron Rodgers in? But
why trade all that? Why trade all that when he's gonna be a free agent next year?
Who cares?
He's gonna be a free agent next year.
But I don't care. He's probably not gonna come to Cleveland as a free agent. If you trade for him, he doesn't have a choice. And then he comes there and they win a Super Bowl or they make it to the AFC Championship and he's playing against Patrick Mahomes or whatever, and he has a chance to show whoever this clown Nicholas is, he can fly a kite, bro.
That's my boy.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Who's his team? Probably the bum-ass Chargers.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Bum-ass Chargers.
Yeah.
Anyways,
God, I love Browns fans so much. You guys have been trash for like 15 years. You're finally good now.
Everybody's
trash.
1 year of
good.
good.
You guys done?
1 year of good.
What have you guys done? You got to the Super Bowl and got embarrassed. What have you guys done?
Let's stay on topic here.
Another topic for another day.
At least my team has 4 championships. They might not be Super Bowl.
I thought this man called in sick.
You guys don't have shit. Shut up.
We have a championship, 1969.
Oh, my Lord.
Buy or sell. Dalton will start week 1 for the Chicago Bears. Brandt.
Sell. It's going to be Justin Fields. If they start Andy Dalton week 1, people are going to be throwing batteries and rocks onto the field like the shitty ass Eagles fans. This
is rough today.
We're supposed to be nice to our guests, dude.
First Drew, now Brent.
Nice? There's only so much nice I can handle.
I was being nice about it. I said no disrespect. This mother effer just went flat out and just told you.
No. I don't think that there would be a big riot if Andy Dalton starts week 1 and it's not Justin Fields. There's too much excitement with him coming in. There's no way it's going to be Dalton.
We're so behind time right now. I'm just going to go quick. Buy $10 million. They have to start him. Ryan.
It's Nagy needs to keep his job. Field starts week 1. Easy.
Alex.
No. And Andy Dalton starting. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you guys, but I'm telling you, I don't care if Justin Fields throws 10 touchdowns in this preseason. They promised Andy Dalton the job. Nagy's trying to hold on.
So did Twitter.
Nagy's trying to hold on to his coaching job. That's why you go with the veteran. You don't go with the rookie. I think Nagy gives him a chance for 3 starts. And then, listen, to the guy with Jalen Hurts as his quarterback, eat a bag of dicks, bro.
Steven, my brother, is a diehard Eagles fan.
Yeah, diehard. Grew up, born and bred in San Diego, Eagles fan. I mean, that's all you need to know right there. That's it. That's all you need to know. Trash.
It's the weed.
This is the guy that was booing when Donovan McNabb got drafted by the Eagles. That was Austin right there. He's one of those clowns. Anyways, I think Andy Dalton starts. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to all the Bears fans. It won't be right. Everything will tell you that Fields should.
Bear fan.
Everything will tell you that Fields should be the starter. I told you Fields was the second best quarterback in this draft.
You did.
Very well looks like it. I told you he's not a typical Buckeye quarterback, and I'm very hard on Buckeye quarterbacks because I'm a Buckeye, but he is totally different. He's a prototypical quarterback. He's a pro-style quarterback. He is not Dwayne Haskins, which clown-ass Brandt's team took a chance on. Hey, look, big news. They're actually thinking about picking a team name this year. They'll probably fuck that up too. So
Hey,
Redskins fans.
don't you have a bone bruise to go nurse?
I do,
Here.
buddy. But hey, I could be on here for you
It's
guys.
the time of the month.
I wasn't thinking I was going to
Steven,
make
go
it
ahead.
in the hospital.
Man, I'm buying. Again, Nagy's job's on the line. He's going to go with the guy that is a veteran. He's going to go with the guy that understands the playbook. Do I believe Fields could wind up starting somewhere around week 6, week 7? That's definitely a possibility. But Nagy is in this to save his ass right now. His job is on the line. And I don't think that he's going to feel comfortable putting Justin Fields in there, regardless whether he should or he shouldn't.
Yeah.
He's going to try to save his job, and he's going to go with Dalton. If his job is looking in jeopardy with Dalton, he will make the switch in a heartbeat, in a Brian Flores heartbeat, and be like, yo, you're out. Fields, you're in.
Who's Eric Young?
Did we forget what Andy Dalton did
He was with
the
Georgia.
Cowboys
Yeah,
offense?
but did he ever play for Georgia? No, he only played for
He actually
Ohio
did
State.
good.
Shut
The
up, Eric.
Cowboys looked good towards the end of the season. Towards the end of the season, new
Better than
playbook with
Danucci.
McCarthy, the Cowboys didn't look bad. And
All right.
that I almost threw up in my mouth saying that.
Yeah, you almost that was rough. That was rough to hear.
Hey,
there's not much
Donald.
to agree
Hey,
on.
Donald's
I need
about to
another
say
drink.
something
One
real
of
quick.
them.
Donald's about to say something real quick.
Listen, the Cowboys go as far as Dak. If Dak's healthy, I think they're back in the playoffs. They probably win the division. If he's not, if he stumbles or he has another injury, the Cowboys are
If the
done.
Cowboys don't win that division with their soft ass schedule, they will never win in the history. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL. If they cannot win, when Washington, who I think is a better team talent-wise, especially on the defense, has a much harder schedule. If Dallas can't pull it off this year,
Listen.
they are never getting it.
My high school football team has a better defense than Dallas. Let's stop here. All right, we understand they're a better defensive team, but on offense, there's more studs in Dallas. Yes, you guys have gotten better, but one of your big studs in the offseason is hurt, and we don't know if he's going to start.
But I expect Dallas to win the division just because their schedule is softer than every other team's in the division.
Nagy needs to pull his best Pete Carroll and let Fields take his lumps while running the ball and playing.
Agree.
Hey, last one here because we're so behind him, but I'm having a great time. Buy or sell, Jameis Winston, Tyson Hill. Who are you buying and who are you selling? So buying is that you're going to start there. You would start them, and selling is you're not going to start them. Let's start with Steven.
Look, I am the biggest Jameis Winston detractor that you will find. I thought he was a flop when they drafted him. I'm like, this is not the guy. He's not going to be a good quarterback. All that being said, I'm buying Winston over Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's the NFL version of Tim Tebow in college. That's it. And that doesn't work in the NFL. Jameis Winston. Another 30 for 30 is better than what Hill is going to give you.
Go ahead, Copenhagen.
Yeah, listen, a good buddy of mine is a diehard New Orleans fan, and I thought for sure he'd be on the Winston wagon, and he's all over Taysom Hill. He's like, we can win with Taysom Hill. It's not pretty, but we can win. He lost so much respect with me. There's no chance. You're not winning that division with the Super Bowl champs, coming back even better if you're starting Taysom Hill. I'm going to just line 10 in the box and put a high safety, and you're not going to be able to do anything. Who's he throwing the ball to?
So you're going to do a cover one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it has to be Winston. How could it be anybody else? Like, Sean Payton is starting to tell me that he's got early onset Alzheimer's if he starts Taysom Hill. I don't care that he's in there and he's watching.
I think he wants out of there, dude.
I mean, maybe he does. I mean, if
he wants out of
Taysom
there.
Hill, maybe he's trying to get fired for incompetence. So, yeah, it's got to be Winston. Buy hard.
Listen, we're making 3 for 3 because I'm definitely buying on Jameis Winston. It sucks a little bit, though. I think it hurts a little bit knowing that Mike Thomas is out because that would have been obviously his Mike Evans. So, he's not going to have that. And it really sucks for me as a Dynasty Kamara owner because I think Tyson Hill takes away a lot of points for Kamara. We saw it last year. Either way, I think we all can agree that the Saints are not going to be making the playoffs or doing anything in this division this year. I don't like their offense at all. I don't like their offensive line, and I don't like either of these quarterbacks. So I'm buying on Jameis Winston, Ryan.
I'm buying Hill, and I'm buying Hill for all the reasons you guys brought up. There's nobody to throw to. They need to get sketchy, or not sketchy, but they need to get crafty out there, and they're going to have to put some trick plays in the book and get the ball moving. And frankly, I just follow the money. One's making 5, one's making 16. Taysom Hill's making a lot more money. They have a lot more invested in him. Are they better off starting Jameis? Yeah, they would be better in my opinion. But I think what Sean Payton's going to go with, he's going to go with the guy that he feels he has a better opportunity with. In my opinion, I think he thinks Hill's the guy.
Brant.
I love me some Taysom Hill. I think when you talk about like the ultimate team guy, you've got to think Taysom Hill. Like, dude's a running back, he's a tight end, he's a wide receiver, he's a punt protector, he's a gunner, he's a kick returner. The dude's amazing. He's just fun to watch.
You just described Jason Campbell all over again.
No, because Jason Campbell killed the ball. But
terrible.
I didn't say he was a good quarterback. I said he was a good runner. I described all things he did good. But no, it's going to be Jameis.
Hey,
he gives him the
how did Jason Campbell work out in Washington, Brent?
Alex,
you got one good year. Take your pedophile mustache and go back into your cave.
Alex, he likes Taysom Hill because they're both Mormons. That's why, dude.
I mean, it makes sense.
I lived in Utah for a year. I respect it. But I don't like Zach Wilson.
I got it. It's cool, man. It's all good. Buddy.
Hey, I look, either way, it doesn't matter to me. I honestly don't care because I really think that's the Buccaneers and that's it in that division.
Taysom Hill's going to get some play though. Like it's going to be Jameis Winston, but Taysom's still going to be out there a good amount.
Okay.
I mean, he got to play with Drew Brees. Of course, he's going to play. I mean, he's just not very effective.
Hey, top 32 running backs. Each guy is going to say something for one guy. All right, we're not going to do this whole thing. It's going to take forever, dude. So let's just get through it. I did 30 lists. Alex didn't send ones because he's complaining always about something.
Yeah, sorry.
So we're just gonna go through it real quick. If we'll start out with Brant, and then we'll just go Brant, Steven, Alex, and Ryan, and me for one guy each. Here we go. Coming in number 32.
Okay, that's not bad. I had him up at around 30. When you're down this deep, man, there's a lot of average guys. Mostert has a chance to jump up on this list if he's able to stay healthy. And I mean, I don't like the fact that Trey Sermon's behind him trying to get some carries, but Mostert's got talent. He's 29. He's got some play. If he can stay healthy, I think he could end up a little higher on the list.
Coming in number 31, Steven, Leonard Fournette.
Ooh, I mean, can he do it? Yeah, I think Ronald Jones showed you last year. He surprised the hell out of all of us with everything that he was capable of doing. He finally filled in his body, and it worked out. Fournette in the playoffs, fresh legs, looked really good. If Fournette is able to maintain that, and even with split time with Ronald Jones, yeah, he could definitely be effective and be at least a top 32 running back in the league.
I agree.
Yeah, he was amazing in the playoffs, and I think that's what gave him a little bump in this was that the run he had in there.
Yes, sir. Coming in number 30, Alex. Damian Harris.
I mean, he has the potential to be top 32, I guess. I don't know. I'm not personally a fan. I don't know that he's going to have a great year, but he there's a chance. I mean, he like Brant talked about, when you get this low, it's kind of like, this guy I guess could go here. This guy I guess could go here. There's nothing really that sets these bottom 32 apart. Leonard Fournette jumps out because of his history, like how good he was before. But that's one of the names that jumps out. But Damian Harris, yeah, he could be a top 32.
Over 5 yards per carry.
Right. He could be top 32 because of his average.
The problem with me with Damian Harris, and I had Damian Harris at 32, was that it's New England.
Right.
And it's all what Bill Belichick thinks is what goes for him in that backfield.
Hot hand, baby.
I mean,
hot hand.
Hot hand. I mean, we saw with Sony Michel, who now we considered as the first round bust. I think all of us can agree. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's about to get cut here. Yeah. He's on the borderline of being cut. We saw it with I forgot the guy's name that had that 200-yard game and then didn't see the break of day. It was against Miami. Sonny Gray or something like that, but got rid of him.
Michel.
Yeah. No. Someone else before Michelle. He had a 4-touchdown game, and then nothing happened ever since. He was gone. He was cut. I mean, it's just what Bill thinks is best for his team. Right. That's what scares me about New England running backs. Coming in number 29, Ryan.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. I mean, obviously we're coming off the Cam Akers injury. This guy flashed last year though, man. There was a point where we thought he was the starting guy. If you
Yep.
had him in fantasy, you were stoked. And then all of a sudden, vulture Cam Akers showed up. So, I mean, I actually have him a lot higher in this due to that offense, as well as the fact that he should be the guy going out. But again, this is another hot hand offense, man. He had the ball and then Cam Akers stole it. So it's his to lose. I think he's better than 29 personally. I got about 10 spots higher than this.
Yeah. Coming in number 28, I don't want to talk about him. I don't like him. I can't stand him, but he's in Denver. Hey, look, listen, I think Javonte Williams is going to take over that starting role in Denver. I like Javonte Williams a lot. And I think Melvin Gordon is that guy that can get you the 3 or 4 yards of hard carries, but he's that goal line guy. He's not the first, second down guy. I think that Javonte Williams can be an all down back. I'm not a Melvin Gordon dude. He even talked about it the other day, saying that Denver might have been a bad choice because he has a hard time breathing and practicing up there. So I don't know what he was thinking. I know you want to stick it against the Chargers, but obviously he has not done that. So, yeah, I'm surprised he came in at number 28, to be honest with you guys. Coming at number 27, Brant.
Myles Gaskins. Yeah, see, I like Gaskins. I think he's got some potential in the Miami offense. There's no one else really there. I mean, maybe Salvin Ahmed, but he's not going to get too much play. And I think, like I said, being down this far in the list, you're looking at starters on teams that could make some plays. And I think with Tua, with adding Waddle and Fuller in the offseason, it's going to open up some lanes for Gaskins to be able to make the moves.
I agree. I don't know what it is, Steven, but they love you. It's like you got to talk about them all the time.
That is great. Look, as I just mentioned, he filled in his body. He got comfortable with the weight, and he showed out. He showed you what glimpses of what he was doing in USC before he came out. And I think he's going to be the bell cow back. They're going to use Leonard Fournette situationally. Ronald Jones is the better receiving back. He's got the fresher legs than Fournette. Unfortunately, Fournette is a battered running back, just given what he had to go through in LSU and then what he was going through in Jacksonville. Rojo's going to be the guy. He's going to take probably 60 to 65% of the carries this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I have no problem with him being at 26.
Yeah, I agree. Coming in number 25, this is probably going to be a little bit of a debate. Here you go, Alex. DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Little low, huh, fellas?
Yeah.
I had him at 21.
Wow.
I had 22.
I mean, just off the top of my head, I would have had him in 20
It's
to 22 range. So it's not really that far down.
Yeah, I mean,
three spots.
It's the offense. It's the offensive line. It's the surrounding around him.
I think,
hey, but he's got your favorite offensive lineman.
I think it's also him too, right? Like is he gonna boom or is he gonna bust? I think he's either a hit or miss guy, right? He's either on and he's really on, or you're getting 12 yards out of him, right? So
I agree.
I think that's why he's this low. He has the potential to be, top 20 for sure. But if, a worse quarterback, arguably, I mean, I don't think we're going to argue. I think everybody would agree they have a worse quarterback now, and they don't have a great offensive line. So, I mean, Penei Sewell is an upgrade at left tackle, but, you need the middle of
now
your
they're moving to right tackle.
Around. Yeah, you're right about that.
Now they're moving to right tackle. I don't know what they're doing there. I don't know why they're doing that.
Remember Fisher went to right tackle for a while before they moved him to left tackle. I mean, he still got the potential to be a great left tackle. They don't have enough interior offensive line. I think that's a big factor in why he's this low. He's also boom or bust. That's another reason. But 25 is still respectable. I don't think it's terrible. He hasn't proven enough to be higher than 25, to be honest, or, in the 20s, right? So, I think that's good. I think it's about right.
Okay. Ryan, you got number 24.
Ah, okay. You know what? This is a perfect spot for him. I think that he flashed last year. He looked pretty good. What's there? Dave Ragon. If he uses him in the passing game, there's a lot more value in that man right there because he's a good rusher, but in the passing game is where he's going to be really effective, in my opinion. I believe I actually had him at 24. I think this is a great landing spot for him.
Yeah, I got an argument one of the top fantasy pro guys writers about Mike Davis. He said he was off on Mike Davis ADP. I said, dude, that's a steal at 5th and 6th round, dude. Are you kidding me?
100%.
He's gonna be the workload horse at Atlanta, and the biggest thing about him is that he has no competition. There's absolutely no competition to take his carries or take his catches away from him. So I mean, I love Mike Davis at 5 and 6. 23. This might be a little shocking for some people, but this is how it averaged out. CEH at number 23. A lot of people are low on him. I think the inconsistencies of last year, learning Andy Reid's offense kind of struggled him a little bit. You know, had a couple of issues with his fumbling, but I'm okay with 23 because I think he could go more and learn more in this offense, and he doesn't have to worry about Damian Williams because now he's a Chicago Bear. Yep. He has Darrell Williams that he has to worry about for competition-wise. But I think Mahomes and him are building that rapport they need to build in the offseason, and it gives them another year. Now, what's interesting about this is that, you know, they don't have Sammy Watkins, so is McCole Hardman going to get more targets, or is it going to be CEH is going to get more of intensive running? So it's a little interesting with this Kansas City offense and how it's going to go for 2021 with CEH, but I'm okay with him at 23. Does anybody else have any issues with it?
No, nope. I mean, it's a little low for me personally. But
you might have the issue with the next one. Brant, 22.
Okay, it's a little higher than I had him. I think I have James Robinson a little bit higher on my list just because I think he's a better running back. I think ETN's going to be used a little bit more in that flex role, running back, wide receiver. He offers the ability to be a game-breaking running back, though. I mean, at Clemson, he was one of the best 2-3 running backs in the country. So he has the ability to do it. But the issue is how's that Jacksonville offensive line going to be? I think he's another one that could end up higher on this list, and he's also one that could end up dropping out a little bit lower. But I like I said, I had him at 24, just ahead of Gordon. So 22, like I said, any 15 to 30, you're nitpicking if you're off.
All right, I can say for 21, it's not a Tampa Bay player.
Oh well, that's good.
Chase Edmonds,
21.
Really?
Okay.
Look, granted, he's probably going to be the guy in Arizona. The problem is going to be Kyler Murray. You know, you hate to say, but Kyler Murray was a top 15 or top 20 rusher last year. I think he rushed for more yards than Chase Edmonds, if I'm not mistaken, last season. So that's going to be a big problem. And I like Chase Edmonds, but his build, his frame, and the fact that he does have an injury history, getting nicked up during the course of games, getting pulled out of games. You don't have, I don't think Arizona has another suitable running back that's going to be able to come in and really spell Edmonds at all. So your other running back is going to be, nah.
Yeah, I mean, Connor's going to hurt himself as soon as he hits the first hole.
Yeah, the minute he gets up off the bench when they call him in, he's going to pull a hamstring. So it's. I think this is a little high and generous for Chase Edmonds, to be honest with you. I'd probably have him at the back end of this top
I didn't have him on my list at all, so I'm like, whoa, wow, okay. A little surprising.
Yeah, I think you are the only one that didn't have him out of the 30 people. Jake,
I'm
coming to number 20, Brant. Coming to number 20, Alex.
Listen, I think this is probably right around here. If I was to pick him, he'd probably be closer to 15, but I'm not saying 15, but somewhere between 15 and 20. I think he's going to have a very big year this year. He's got another year in this offense. They actually have a couple wide receivers now, which are going to open up holes. It all depends on the offensive scheme, though. I mean, if they stick with the 3 yards in a cloud of dust scheme and they just run and try and run the ball down your throat with these wide receivers that they brought in, that tells me they're going to do something different. But are they? So It's going to depend, but he has potential to be a top 10 running back, in my opinion. But he's probably at 15 to 20 because of the running back or the quarterback situation, who's primarily a very fantastic runner. We know he can throw the ball.
It's the same as Arizona. It's the
Right.
same situation.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler
running wise. I'm not saying Kyler's Lamar.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Lamar's the best to do it as far as running wise. I but yeah, he's in this position because of the offense he plays in, I think.
Yes.
Because it's more geared towards Lamar running the ball than the running back, honestly. Even though their running scheme, they do a lot out of the shotgun and stuff like that, which takes yards away from your carries, unfortunately. You're starting further back. So, yeah, listen, I think he can be in the 15 to 20 range, but if he's on a different team with a different offense, he's probably a top 10 running back. So I like the positioning. I would have had him probably a little bit higher. It hurts me to say that about a Ravens player, but he is a Buckeye, so there's silver lining.
Coming in number 19.
Oh man, this guy. You know what, man? He is fantastic. But are they going to use him? This guy was a 5-yard attempt guy last year, and they just wouldn't give him the ball. You know what I mean? It was the most frustrating thing in the world to watch, because he was actually a guy I was really excited to see coming out of college, because he boomed. He was a big guy. He looked really good out there. New offensive coordinator, obviously. You hope that he can utilize the talent. It's a tough landing spot for him, because this guy could be a top 10 guy, in my opinion. He has the talent to do it. He can catch the ball. He's a great runner, great vision. It's just a matter of if they use him. They failed him last year. They failed the Eagles last year in not using him, because he was untapped potential.
Well, if your OC is anything like he was with Austin Eckler and Justin Herbert, I have confidence that Sanders is going to have success.
He's a McVay guy. He's a McVay guy. You know what I mean? He comes from that coaching tree, so he came over here and proved it with us. I think he's going to do things in Philly.
I just hope Sirianni leaves him alone.
That's the issue at hand.
Coming in number 18, David Montgomery. I had David at 14 and 15, so I'm okay with this spot. Obviously, I think they're going to depend on their running a lot this year with the rookie quarterback and with the red rifle. The O-line is an issue still. They have A-Rob on the outside, so possible stack the box and most attempts with David Montgomery running the ball. But I like this kid a lot, man. He has a nose to the end zone. The only problem with him is just his health. Unfortunately, it's just his health. So hopefully he can stay healthy all year. But I really do like him at 18 for the Chicago Bears. Coming in at number 17, Brant.
Najee that's exactly where I had him. I think that's really good. I think he's going to get a lot of play. I think he could definitely rise up on the list. No, I think Najee Harris is going to be he's going to have a really good year. He's going to be Saquon's rookie year good. And then after Ben retires, it'll be Saquon's not so good years. But I think he comes in, he's going to run well, good play action. I mean, I think his biggest vulture carries will be Anthony McFarland Jr. There's not too much backfield there, but no, I think Najee could end up a little bit higher on the list, but I had him at 17, so it's perfect.
Love it. Coming in number 16, and this is where we're going to start fighting. Kareem Hunt.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Wow. Man. Yeah. Given the way Stefanski ran that offense last season, I don't see how Kareem Hunt isn't at least a top 15 potentially.
I agree.
Top 10, back end of the top 10 running back. I just don't see how it is. Cleveland is going to boast one of the best rushing offenses in the game, and Kareem Hunt is going to be a huge part of that, both rushing and receiving. So 16, I guess I can sit well with that as far as I don't know, man. Bullshit. I can't sit well with that. He's definitely top 15, easily top 15. He should be closer to the top 10, in my opinion. I would have probably had him around maybe 12 or 13, maybe even 11.
I had him at 12. The next four guys, I had him better, and I'm shocked that these four guys got more points average wise than Kareem Hunt. So I'm a little shocked. I had Kareem Hunt at 12. I mean,
I had him top 10.
As soon
a
as
top
I
10
saw it
running
pop
back.
up, I said 12. I can't put him in the top 10 because there's 2 there, right? So I just don't. I think I'll knock him out of top 10.
Yeah, I agree with
But
that.
12's probably the perfect spot for him. Like, he's a top 10 back for sure. But because of the offense he plays in, he's 12.
No way in hell should Najee be above JK.
I agree with you, Spencer. But it's
I
the
agree,
offense.
Spence.
It's the offense. It's going to be the usage. It's not going to be. We're not knocking on JK. We're knocking on the offense that he's played
Gus
in the
Edwards
past.
is going
right?
to get a lot of play in Baltimore.
No chance, man. I don't think so.
Coming in number 15 for you, Alex. Chris Carson.
I've always sold on Chris Carson. I've never been a big fan of Chris Carson. I understand
he gets hurt.
I understand he puts up the numbers. He's the only option. He gets fantasy numbers, whatever. But he's always hurt. He's always on the injury list, whether he's playing or not. It's game time decision, or it's out for a week here, out for 2 weeks there. That's why I would never draft him in fantasy unless I get him in the last round. It's just not. There's no value there for me for a guy that I can't depend on week in and week out. I would have him more in the 20s because of the injury history. Sure, talent-wise, is he a top 15? Probably, right? But what is your best ability? Availability, right? And I know we all heard that in high school, probably, right?
That's my saying.
So, I have a problem with him being this high. I can understand talent perspective, but availability, he's top 20 maybe for me. I don't like it at 15.
Coming in number 14, Brian.
That's trash. That is far too high for this guy. They just went out and got a running back. That's a miss right there. I don't even think I have this guy on my list, to be honest with you.
You did
Wow,
it. A lot of people had him in the top 10, to be honest with you.
What? I mean,
did you watch him last year?
He killed it last year.
Yeah, and
then now it's going to change the dynamic.
They got ATN because of who their quarterback is. It wasn't because they needed him.
So I watched James Robinson last year. I had him in fantasy. There's no doubt about it.
Brad looks so mad.
He's I don't know the numbers right off the top of my head, but he's a 4.5 an attempt guy. But he gets that on 3 plays. Like he is a 42. Like I don't know. He flashed. He did some well. He does not deserve top 14 Garner, in my opinion.
How many touchdowns did he have last year?
I'm looking it up right now.
Less than 10. I know that for a fact.
He was 7 touchdowns, tied for 18th, 4.5 yards a carry, 1,070 yards on 240 attempts. I mean, those are pretty damn.
What about
good
receiving?
And the bulk of his yardage came in the month of November, by the way.
Right.
100%.
He was just he burst onto the scene in November.
Yeah, first 3 games he didn't get above 80 yards. Then he went 128, 73.
What was his receiving, Alex?
Less than 300, I bet.
What's receiving?
It probably is. Well, with Minshew at quarterback, he really didn't get that much because he's just running
344 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. So he had 10 touchdowns.
Double-digit touchdowns. Okay. All right. Coming in, I agree. Coming in next.
I agree. He only had 3 games over 100 yards.
Joe Mixon, number 13. Joe Mixon had a terrible year last year. Wasn't good at all. Got hurt. I'm not a big Joe Mixon guy, as you guys all know. I always complain about him. But this year, I'm really high on him for fantasy. Yes, just because of Joe Burrow in this offense. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. That box is not going to be stacked at all whatsoever. So I think the sky's the limit for Joe Mixon in this offense. I like him at 13. I think he's going to be very productive in 2021. Brent, coming in at number 12. Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs? All right, hold on. Where the hell did I have him on my list? I had 12. All right, cool. That just worked out for me. No, last 2. No, I like Josh Jacobs in the top 12. Kenyon Drake worries me a little bit. I had Kenyon Drake towards the bottom of this list just because I'm high on Kenyon Drake. But Josh Jacobs last year, he had a really good year. And you're looking at, he had the second most carries. So for fantasy perspective, you're going to look at a guy that's going to get a lot of touches. And I think he's going to be a little bit more involved in the pass game this year. I think around that 12 to 15 is right where Josh Jacobs should be sitting, just because I think there is that little fear with Kenyon Drake coming in and faltering.
Did he get over 1,000 yards rushing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He did?
Lot,
Okay.
He
lot
ended
of
up like
touches.
top 5 in fantasy.
Lot of touches.
Or
Lot
like
of
7 or
touches.
8. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Coming in at number 11 before we get to the top 10, Steven. Antonio Gibson.
That's a guy that has the potential to be in the top 10, to be quite frank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He's going to be
100%.
Washington's guy. Last season, he looked good. Let's just – there was a lot of surprises last season with running backs and just how crazy it was. We outside of your top 3 or 4 guys, there was anywhere between 10 to 15 guys right now that we've just looked at that can wind up finishing in the top 10 this year. And Antonio Gibson is another guy. He's going to be the mainstay in Washington. Washington is still going to need to use the running game, even with Fitzpatrick at quarterback. They're going to have to leverage the running game in order to open up with the passing game and basically work to the strengths of Ryan Fitzpatrick at this point. So, yeah, Gibson being at 11, I don't have a problem with that at all.
No, and he's a converted wide receiver turning into a running back in the pros. Like that last year, you saw where he got better as the year went on. I expect much better things from him this year.
Boys, we have made it to the top 10, and Alex gets to start it off at 10. Real quick, Ryan, can you see the banners?
No. Do you want me to?
Okay. No, I don't want you to. I want you guys to guess. All right, so off the top of your head, who do you think is number 10, Brant?
Austin Eckler.
Steven?
Austin Eckler.
Alex?
Austin Eckler.
Ryan?
I hope it's not Austin Eckler. Jonathan Taylor, because they're close right there.
There you
Jonathan
go.
Taylor, number 10.
I like it. Good pick. Good pick, Ryan.
Number 10. Alex, talk to us.
Yeah, I like him at 10. Hines is still there, right? I mean, they have a couple options at running back, so I like him at 10.
Marlon Mack and Hines.
Right. I think he came on strong, and I think he'll continue this year. I don't think he'll have a sophomore slump. I think he'll be fine. I like him at 10. I'm fine with him at 10. I don't disagree with him at 10. Here we go with more useless Philly fan knowledge.
Tell your brother to go to bed. He's just tired.
He hasn't had his weed yet. Leave him alone. All right, coming in number 9. Who do you guys think it is?
Austin Eckler.
Zeke.
Eckler.
Oh, man, it's got to be Eckler.
Austin Eckler.
Oh.
Number 9.
Hey,
Austin Eckler. Go and talk about our Charger.
ladies and gentlemen, this is Austin Eckler's season, all right? This guy, with one of the worst offensive lines in the game the past 2 years, put up big numbers. He is very versatile. We've upgraded in 3 of 5 different positions, 5 main positions on the offensive line. We have Joe Lombardi now, who's worked with Kamara, Sproles, Theo Riddick. He is going to use this man to his full potential and ability. Austin Eckler could be a top 5 running back this year. Hands down, he has the accolades to do it.
You said he had a great year last year.
I didn't say he had a great year last year.
He said this year is his year.
The guy hasn't rushed for over 600 yards in any season yet. I don't know.
Bro,
look,
this is a passing league, guy.
Yeah.
He can receive.
I got to make a better argument for Eckler than Ryan did. You got to remember, this offensive line got better, especially with bringing in Corey Linsley. That is a huge win at center for them, number one.
And
number
Slater.
2, if you look, Slater at the left tackle position. You look at Eckler's numbers last season. Before his injury, he was legitimately on pace to rush for almost 1,200 yards last year. So he's due for a breakout year. This is a guy that is a Darren Sproles type runner, extremely explosive, better built for the running game. He's due for a breakout season. It got cut short last season because of injury, so I believe this year he will have that breakout.
Nigga broke down in week 1.
Yeah. Shut up.
1 rushing touchdown and 1 receiving touchdown last year. Yeah.
He was
top
hurt.
10. Top 10.
Through 9 weeks. The guy played 9 weeks.
You're basing on the 2021 what they're going to do 2021.
Alvin
Number
Kamara's
8.
never had 1,000 yards.
Number 8.
That's fine, but he's been double-digit touchdowns for like how many years?
Oh
like,
my God.
Let's be realistic.
Okay.
Gotta be Zeke. Gotta be
You say Zeke? Steven?
Yeah. If Zeke's higher than 8, I'm wrong with these pollers,
I'm going to say Kamara.
Okay. Alex, what are you saying?
It's got to be. If Zeke is higher than 8,
Ryan?
you guys are clowns.
Zeke or Barkley?
Saquon Barkley at number 8. I expected it to be to be here because of this torn ACL. People are still hesitant on him. They're still hesitant on this offense with Daniel Jones. They didn't fix the O-line as much as they needed to. They brought in Kenny G, but I just don't think it's going to do much for them. And Saquon Barkley doesn't know if he's going to start in the first week of the season, possibly second week of the season. He might come back for the third. We don't know. We have no idea. So I understand this. I understand why people voted him a little bit later in the top 10. I think he's at the right spot. Anybody have any issues?
I don't see how you have Zeke higher than Saquon Barkley. I'm not a Zeke fan. I'm not a Zeke fan. No, that dude's he's gotten worse as his career has gotten on somehow. He's just progressively getting worse. So I don't.
He's gotten worse, but he's still been a top 5 running back in the league as he's been digressing. Think about that for a second. Saquon Barkley.
Fantasy numbers
I
for
think
talking.
Saquon Barkley's body is going to fail him. That's going to be on top of being on a shitty team that can't block anybody. They're going to fail him. His body is going to fail him, and his running style is part of the problem too. Saquon Barkley could give you 100 yards rushing on 20 carries. The problem is one of them is one carry goes for 65 yards. The other fucking 19 go for 35. He did it at Penn State. When you have 14 rushes for 35 yards against Rutgers, 14 rushes for 35 yards against Rutgers, please. Don't tell me about generational running back. Don't tell me about he's fucking Barry Sanders. No, Saquon Barkley is just an average running back. He's got great athletic talent. He's an average running back.
Damn.
It's a hot take. Hey,
that's a hot take. I love it.
Another hot take by a Philly fan.
All right. We're going to number 7, and what do you guys think it is?
It's got to be Zeke.
Yeah.
Oh, Pollard.
Why could be Nick Chubb and just piss off
Pollard? I'm going to tell you right now.
It's
not Zeke. It's not Zeke.
It's Kamara. It's got to be Alvin Kamara.
I'm just kidding. It's Zeke.
Exactly. That had to be.
So real quick before you go, Brent, Zeke was 1 point ahead of Barkley, and Barkley was 1 point ahead of Eckler. Just want to throw that up there. Go ahead, Brent.
Oh, it's me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Talk about your favorite player in the NFC East.
Sell in fantasy. Get what you can. Jump ship. No, I think it'll be a better year for him just because Dak's coming back. What I do worry about is that the wide receivers they got, like Lamb, Gallup, Cooper. Like, there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be taking touches away from Zeke. And honestly, I had Pollard in the top 32. I like Pollard a lot, especially as that change of pace guy. I think there's a few teams that have a second guy that are better than most teams first, and I think Pollard's one of those guys. For me, I had Zeke at a little bit lower, outside the top 10. But like I said, that's just because I think Pollard's going to do a lot this year, and he's going to step up a little bit more.
For Pollard, they're also working Pollard at the slot. So, I mean, obviously he's not going to see it that much, but, just a full little gas out there for the skeptics out there. But I want to throw something there for Zeke. He's lost some weight. He looks good. His agility looks better than it did last year. He looks healthy. And, with Dak back, I think it elevates your offense a lot more than with Red Rifle or a Danucci. So, I mean, we have to take that into consideration. I think we're going to see a lot more goal line chances for Zeke than he did last year. So, I mean, those are a lot of things you got to take in for Zeke and for this offense with Dak back. If that's a Dak
Zeke looks slimmer every offseason, though. It's like
not last year. Not last year. He had a little bit of a gut. Not last year. This
But
year he looks a lot
the same
better.
thing. He's coming in. He's in better shape. It's always that, right?
It's all about how well the Molly's hitting. If the Molly's hitting, he's not eating. He's in shape. He looks good.
Yep. Hey, coming in number 6. Who you guys think it is?
Nick Chubb.
Who do we have
Nick
next?
Chubb.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. Alex.
Alvin Kamara.
Ryan.
I'll jump on with Jones. Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones comes in at number 6. Steven, talk about it.
Listen, I don't mind him being at number 6. I think I had him at number 6 as well on my list. You got to think about it. Last 2 seasons, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, total of 30 touchdowns that the guy scored. My biggest concern with them is going to be offensive line. Again, losing Lindsey. I think their right tackle, Rick Wagner, is also out of there. So it's going to be you're going to see them shuffling offensive linemen a bit. But realistically, think about it. McCarthy left. McCarthy had him for 2 years, and he was just alternating back and forth. He never really committed to Jones. What's his name comes in now? Jesus Christ.
AJ Dillon.
No, the
coach
for
LaFleur.
Yeah. He comes in, commits to Jones, and all of a sudden Jones is a damn stud. Last 2 seasons, not last season, but a year ago, he led the league in touchdowns, total touchdowns 16. With 19 of them.
19.
Total
led the league in yards for scrimmage. Look, Aaron Jones has the potential to be a top 5 running back coming into this year. This is the swan song for Aaron Rodgers. This team is going to be running, and all of these players are going to be playing high octane right from day one.
Any issues? Everybody good with that? I'm good with
Yeah, I can't.
Top 5. Here we go. Alex, who do you think it is?
Kamara.
Ryan?
Derrick Henry.
Brant?
Chubb.
Steven?
Kamara.
Yeah,
Chubb.
finally.
Wow.
Number 5. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Hey, perfect guy to talk about it, baby. Let's
Yeah.
go.
This is, I guess, because he's in the same backfield, Kareem Hunt, he gets dinged because of that.
I think so.
But in my opinion, he's the second best running back in the NFL. There's not many guys that can do what he does. He's a power runner as well as he's agile. He's got jets for days. You see him run past guys that run 4.3 40s in pads like they're standing still. I love the guy. I would rather give some of the money we're going to give to Baker Mayfield to him because I don't think you could pay him enough for what he does for the offense. I would say he's worthy of top 2, but I can understand the top 5 because of Kareem Hunt. That probably was a factor in getting him to 5.
That's what a lot of people text me and told me.
Even with Hunt there, this is the best pure running back in the league.
100%. 100%.
I give the nod to Derrick Henry just because of what he does.
Number 4. Are you guys saying?
It's got to be Kamara at this point, who shouldn't even be this high.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's Alvin Kamara. Number 4, Ryan. Separated by a point, Alex. Separated by a point, just to let you know.
Interesting. This guy's, he's been a cheat code when it comes to the NFL. He's got to be averaging over 15 touchdowns a season. He's not a pure runner. He's going to get banged up. I think we're going to see a lot of regression this year now that Drew's gone. The passing game doesn't have Michael Thomas. They don't have the weapons they've had in the previous years, so they're going to lean on him heavy. And we might see a big injury out of him jumping into it. I believe it's his 5th year in the league. He's been good. He's been great. He's not CMC caliber in my opinion. I think we see regression. I think 4 is a little high. He should have been more to the 6-7 range.
Ryan, I agree with you, man. I had him at the 7 and 8 just because of the offense and what he has facing him going in this year. For me personally, I had Chubb, I had Jones, I had all these guys higher than Kamara, just because I'm basing this off of going into 2021. It's not career, it's not fantasy. Fantasy, he's going to be a darling for everybody because of the usage rate. But in reality games, he's going to get hurt, and it's going to be scary because they're going to be leaning on him a little bit too much. But he comes in at number 4.
I mean, but even last year, only playing 15 games,
10 games.
he started 10, he played in 15. The guy had 21 touchdowns.
No, that's amazing.
940 yards rushing and like almost 600 yards receiving. I mean, that's impressive. He had 6, receiving touchdowns or 5.
And he hasn't had a season where he caught less than 81 passes too.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, it's impressive. He's going to probably dip. I just think it'll be dip because of quarterback play, not because of him.
Boys, we're in the top 3. We got Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, and CMC left.
It's got to be Dalvin Cook then.
Who's coming in number 3?
Out of those 3, I'm going Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, it'll probably be Dalvin Cook.
CMC because of injury, but I'm going to say Dalvin Cook would be mine.
Let's go to the comments real quick. Everybody's saying McCaffrey at 3.
Yeah, I said because of the injury. I'm assuming.
No.
Yeah, there we go.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that's
Dalvin Cook comes in at number 3. I had Cook at 3. I'm okay with this. The only thing that pauses me to put him at 3 is because of his injuries. So, it's always a hit and miss for him on big games, but production-wise, I think he's going to have another good, solid 2021 season. They still have the ageless wonder at quarterback who's guaranteed all that money, and I think he's going to be, relying on Dalvin Cook as they always have been years past in Minnesota. So I'm definitely good with Dalvin Cook at 3. Does anybody else have any issues with it? We're good.
He might be number 1 at the end of the year.
He might be. Guys, who comes in at number 2?
Henry.
CMC.
Steven?
CMC.
Separated by a point.
Oh,
Derrick
my
Henry.
God.
Wow.
This is a fucking joke. We're running a fantasy poll here. This is not realistic. A guy that hasn't completed a single fucking come on, dude. I don't care how talented this fucking guy is. Are you kidding me? Did you fucking ask a bunch of 12-year-olds to fill out goddamn best top 30? No. Who the fuck filled this out?
Listen. Hold on. Listen. I asked all different podcasters on Twitter and on Facebook. Steven could attest to that.
I'm not watching anybody else's show ever. This is fucking trash.
Hey, Steven's got a great show. At least
he's a Philly fan. He gets discounted, man.
I think Steven had Derrick Henry at 1.
He seems great.
Steven, did you have Derrick Henry at 1?
No, I had Derrick Henry actually at 3. But I've got a legitimate reason why. And I was just about to tell Alex. Only 3 running backs in NFL history have led in rushing yards 3 straight years. Jim Brown, Earl Campbell, and Emmitt Smith. Understand how difficult that's going to be going into this season with Derrick Henry. So
he's the modern day Jim Brown. I mean, that's the closest. If you think about history, right?
Let him finish his thing.
Sorry for interrupting.
Well, no.
I have a bad habit about that. Sorry.
I don't have a problem. Look, what you were saying is he seems to be that way. Can he do it again this year? There's a reason why I had him in the top 3. Yes, he can do it again this year. I'm not discounting that at all. I'm just saying that the likelihood, I'm going with the probability here, is that he's going to have that regression. And based on what we've seen throughout history, the fact that we're going how many years, 100 years of NFL play, and only 3 running backs have managed to do that. And we're in an era where they brought in Julio Jones. They didn't bring him in so they could better Derrick Henry's rushing production. They want to limit the amount of carries he's going to get so he can actually be more of an impact later on in the season and going into the playoffs. That's the only reason I knocked him back the way I did.
Does missing a game or two?
Let me ask you guys something real quick on this, because this is interesting to me. I've had a lot of people talk to me, and I had issues with it because I had Derrick Henry at 1. So, with that being said, does the addition of Julio Jones kind of falter you a little bit? Because to me, it seems that would make him higher, because they're not have to worry about stack boxes against defenses. He's gonna have funnels to run through, don't you think?
Yeah, it's going to go both ways. It's a double-edged sword. Could he lose some? Yeah, he's going to lose a little bit of the ball, whatnot, the percentage that he's going to get, as opposed to Julio. They didn't bring Julio in just to be a decoy. He's going to get his time. Derrick Henry, I'm on the same board with him when it comes to that. He's just the probability of him repeating this again. There's going to be some regression. It's bound to happen. And I think this is a good time for it to happen at his age.
You guys keep
hold on, Alex, hold on. I know you want to talk.
Alex, you're funny because Nick Chubb actually faced the most 8-man boxes per snap last season. Right. Derrick Henry was like 3rd or 4th on the list.
No,
just remember that.
Listen, and it's because everybody hates on Tannehill, right? They say he's not a real quarterback. And then you look at his numbers, and he's got the same numbers as fucking Patrick Mahomes. Actually, in some categories, he's better, and people can't fathom that, right? Tannehill's a bum. No, he just played for Adam Gase, who's a piece of trash as a human being and a coach. So, that's what caused his. That's what caused his. His freaking his slump numbers in Miami, right? Nobody can play for that guy. They dealt with it in New York.
Jay Cutler did.
Well.
Jay Cutler did.
Yeah. Jay Cutler somehow overcame Adam Gase, right?
Hey,
imagine if Jay Cutler had a real coach, what kind of numbers he could have had. Maybe you might be talking about him different, right?
Alex, and I know Brant wants to get into this a little bit, but you've been on record saying sooner or later the wheel will come off of Derrick Henry because he's been doing this in high school, in college, and now in the NFL, and he's in his what year?
Alabama college too.
6th or 7th year, I believe.
I think he's at 7.
Yeah, so doesn't that go against what you were saying last year when we were doing our playoff shows? Is that Derrick Henry eventually these wheels are going to come off and he's going to get hurt the way he runs.
Listen, while I can understand, my previous takes and where you're going with that, right? You what's the saying, right? You do the same thing over and again and expect different results, right? Like, if I keep going against this guy and he makes me look like a clown every time I do it, I'm going to just jump on the train because the guy he looked better last year. He looked like he had progressed as a running back, like a true running back. I'm not saying he's going to be CMC catching the ball, but he can at least catch a pass now. He improved last year in all of his numbers statistically wise as far as efficiency, right? And then you want to tell me this guy is not the best running back in the league? I disagree. My eyes show me when I used to live, vicariously watching Jim Brown film. Like, we're watching the modern day Jim Brown, and I think a lot of it's lost because he's not CMC and he doesn't catch the ball in the backfield 50 times a year.
That's it right there. That's the main reason.
All these white guys that could never make it in real sports are like, oh, CMC looks like me, so I'm going to think he's a better running back. When the realistic is you got Megatron at the running back position who you watch week in and week out, stiff arm guys through your TV, and you're like, I can't do that, right? Like, I think I'm not going to get off topic here, but I think we don't value him for what he is. And I did that for a while until I really took, I stopped and watched and enjoyed him playing this season, right? And I don't think he slows down. I just don't. I think he might have less carries, but he has a higher average.
Brant, you want to chime in a little bit before we get to number one?
Yeah, Derrick Henry is my number one. I like CMC a lot, don't get me wrong, but Derrick Henry is my number one. When you're talking about a guy that no one his size should move like that and be able to do what he does. He was 6'5", 240. Dude's a monster. There's no reason this guy he's able to bust long runs. Like Alex said, he can catch the ball. He's not going to be CMC catching the ball, but they don't need him to be. The Carolina offense is rough, and it's going to be rough this year with Sam Darnold as well. It's not going to be the Tennessee offense with the weapons that they have. For me, Derrick Henry's number one.
Hold on, but wait a minute. Hold on for 1 second here. CMC was on pace to best his 2020 season after 3 weeks until he got hurt. Mm-hmm. So let's not forget that. This isn't – hold on. I let you talk. Hold on. I let you talk. He has the same offense going and probably better with a better quarterback and you guys are dissing him a little bit because you guys are talking about talent. This is about basing off who you want in your 2021 season that's going to have the best season. This isn't about how great Derrick Henry is and how he looks like Jim Brown and this and that. We know that. But that's why I had him at 1 because I thought Julio and AJ was going to give him more gaps and more holes for this O-line to pick off against any defense. That's the only reason why I have him above CMC. CMC is your all-around back that can do everything. He's done it, and he's proven it year after year. I think we're dissing him a little bit here and not giving the service that he's due.
See, I don't see it dissing. Running backs don't come off major knee surgeries
unless
they're Adrian Peterson and come back at full strength right away. That's just not how it goes. He's going to come in. CMC's going to take some time to warm up. He's going to take some time for him to become that old CMC. He's not going to be able to come in and be that old one right away. It's going to take him time to figure it out.
If he makes it past week 6, yeah, he might have a chance to be the best running back this year. But I'll take bets that he doesn't make it past week 6, or that he misses at least 3 weeks this year. So to me, that can't be my best running back in the NFL. He's not. He's undersized. You have to admit that. Let's just be realistic.
Gentlemen.
Every running back we've talked about, what has been the major knock? Injury history. It's a injury-prone position. It just is. They're the workhorse of the offense that, you know what I mean, that gets underpaid and gets you. We talk about it all the time. Don't overpay a running back. Get rid of them, right? There are very few that you can get away with overpaying and still being a successful team, right? So you're talking about a guy that's undersized who came off a career or a season-ending injury, a major injury at that, at a critical position, a part of his body, which is his knee. He's got to cut. Everything about him is cutting and being elusive. Let's see what he does. But if he makes it past week 6, without getting injured, I'll give him a chance. But I doubt it. Highly doubt it.
Final takes before we get into it. Great show tonight. Steven, I got a lot of comments from people. They love you on the show. Hey, can we get you come back on next week? We got you and another guy coming on for the quarterback reveal list. So we'd love to have you come back on next Wednesday. We'll talk more about it. Final take, guys. We got a final thing to say. Let's start off with Ryan.
Not much of a final take. Good list, boys. And yeah, have a good week.
Brant.
Thanks for having us on. Jalen Hurts better not be in the top 25, and let's have a good week. I'll see y'all next week.
Jesus Christ. Alex.
Have a good week, boys. I'm glad I was able to jump on and do the last half of the show.
Yeah, we're glad your vagina's okay. Yeah. Steven.
Great there were a lot of Eagle shots taken over here this time. I'm more than willing to come on next week. Yeah. I'm going to put Jalen Hurts as a top 10 quarterback just for shits and giggles at this point.
You can blame Austin Trammell and Daniel Bakley for all those shots.
Hey, I watched firsthand how bad Hurts was in Week 17 last year, and he ain't top 25 quarterback. I'm sorry.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning on. Steven, you want to talk a little bit about your show before we get going?
Yeah, you can check me out on Objectively Biased Sports, the Facebook page. I also blog for Chop Sports Media Network, and we do a sports show every Thursday, football show, strictly football, for QQ. Myself and Brian Emejuru. You catch it at 8:30-ish whenever we're able to get on.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining tonight. Guys, thank you so much for your comments and your questions back. This is Game Winning Drive. This was a great show tonight. Alex, we're happy you're back, and we'll see you guys next week, man.
Thanks for coming on, Steven.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching this episode of Game Winning Drive on the Sports Box. Please remember to follow us on all of our social media outlets. On Facebook at Sportsbox Show, Twitter at Sportsbox Show, Instagram at The Sportsbox Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And also our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 free points. Thank you for joining us.